It's time to do another Stephen King film. Today we're doing Creepshow, an anthology film released in 1982, May 16th, 1982. Yeah, and it was written by Stephen King himself. So you know it's going to be good. And directed by George A. Romero. For some reason, if you don't know who he is and you're a horror fan, that's really sad. George A. Romero is the one who did Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, and he also did other Stephen King films like The Dark Half, which is like a low budget film, but it's still a really good one. But yeah, so I might spoil some of the small stories in this, but it came out in the 80s, so who really cares? Yeah, it had a budget of $8 million and it made over $21 million worldwide when it came out. So yeah, it's pretty good. It has two sequels, so I'll get to those eventually, but not right now. And yeah, so first, so basically, the prologue type thing is this kid, and he's getting in trouble with his dad and his mom, yelling at him and stuff for doing bad things and reading comic books and they don't want him to. So they throw it out, and then this like Grim Reaper witch looking thing comes and basically gives him the Creepshow comic book anthology, and he reads them. So this is all about him reading the stories in this in the film. So first one's called Father's Day. It's pretty amusing. It's pretty cheesy nowadays, but um, it's about basically a family. They get together on Father's Day to eat cake and stuff. Pretty sure it's the father's birthday in it too, and he's really greedy. So it shows flashbacks of like them like him like begging for his cake and yeah, eating it, and then he ends up dying. So I'm pretty sure he actually gets murdered. I can't really remember. I was more concentrated on some of the other ones, but yeah. So he comes back as a zombie, looking for his cake and doing some cool death scenes. Some of the makeup and stuff was interesting. It's done by Thomas Savini, who did all the Dawn of the Dead makeup, and he's also has a cameo in this film later on. I'll tell you that later though. And yeah, so he did all the special effects makeup and I think the practical effects as well. But yeah, so and then it's just a cool like obviously it's just a cool little zombie story. And then at the end he's just like you keep hearing him say, "I want my cake," and terrorizing the family. And eventually he walks in, "I found my cake," and has a dead bride's head on it as a cake. And yeah, it's pretty cool. And every time that fades out of the story, it'll go to like almost like a comic book like frame, cartoon style, and then it'll go back to like the kid reading it and like stuff. So yeah, the second story is called "Loneliness of Daniel jo- oh wait, lonesome Dale of Jordy Rill. This one stars Stephen King. It's a really weird title, and it's long. There's this guy and he sees a meteorite crash and he's like, "Oh, no one will believe me." And then he basically picks up some of it, brings it inside, and then starts turning everything to plants and turning him into a plant. And it's him, basically this loner guy that no one listens to, just cope and go along with daily lives. It's very comedic, very amusing. Stephen King does a good job. This is his second time playing acting in one of the films. He played in Nightbringer, I think it was his first one, and then he did this one. So yeah, and then he did Maximum Overdrive and some other films. So yeah, he's very comedic. It's very simple. It's pretty cool. When he becomes a full plant, it's very cheesy, but really funny as well. All these are really amusing to watch. Um, so yeah, it's just the basic premise of that, and and then that leads into something to tide you over, which has Liam Neeson starring in a serious role, and it's basically he basically takes these people and he takes them to the beach, and then he basically bribes them to get into a hole and get buried in the sand while it's low tide, and then they realize high tide's going to come in, and it slowly drowns them. It's very pretty interesting, and he videotapes them too. And he basically sits there and watches them over and over again. But then the spirits of the people who drown eventually come back to haunt him and do it. And now the makeup in this one is really good. The acting's really good in these, by the way. And yeah, it was really well done. This one was put together. It sounds a little corny and stuff, but this is like one of the must see ones out of this film. So yeah, that was the basic one. It's almost like a thriller type set, but overall really good. Um, then it goes to the crate. So this is basically a nod to like 50s monster films and stuff, but in color. These scientists find this crate, get this crate shipped in. It turns out it has a weird hybrid monkey type dude in it, and it's just a guy in a creature costume, but it's pretty cheesy and funny. And this one does have like a slower pace to it, so it's a little boring in some parts, but does pick up some violent deaths happen, and it was really funny. So yeah, great basic stuff. Most of these are just basic, like quick little stories. So yeah, and then the final one basically plays on um, a phobia of bugs, dirt. This guy's like a germaphobe. He loves keeping clean. He has like basically a stellar clean area. It's called they're creeping up on you, and basically he's trying to clean it in his penthouse suite, and he's getting mad at everyone. So he gets mad at security for coming in interrupting him. He hasn't been cleaning, and then he sees a cockroach in his thing. So he's calling up the exterminator, and it's just like, yo, come and deal with this. And then they can't. And they're gonna be there in the morning. He can't wait. It's like 10:30 at night, and he's arguing, and yeah. So yeah, he goes like that, and it slowly consumes him, his fear of it, and then he eventually uh, basically kills himself from it, and yeah, he ends up cockroaches eating him and eat him alive. And this was the most expensive segment in the film, and it's really interesting. If you don't like bugs, you won't like this, but overall, I thought it was pretty amusing and well. So overall, as a whole, Creepshow, the stories are really good, and also they sum up like the prologue part and everything really well, because you see Tom Savini and another garbage guy posing as two garbage guys. One of them's Tom Savini and some other dude, and they look at the comic after the dad throws it out and realize, oh, something's missing. The kid bought a voodoo doll, which they show you a picture of it in the middle as a transition scene, and basically he starts choking and stuff, and you see the kid taking the voodoo doll, poking it as if it's his dad. And that was the end of the film. And yeah, overall, I thought this movie was really well done, really entertaining. It's basically a must see from the 80s. If you're a horror fan, it's like a horror black comedy. It is really well done. I give this probably a 4.5 out of 5. So yeah, they just cut out maybe or redid the crate a little bit better, it would have been 5 out of 5. But overall, there's that. And yeah, so and yeah, that's Creepshow. Creepshow's really well. If you haven't heard of it, I'll put a link to the trailer down below, like I always do. Also, my Instagram's down there, for so you can see clips of movies I do on my story. I usually post them on my stories, and yeah, so follow me there. Subscribe to the channel if you like just hear my opinions on the film and my vague descriptions. Like this, if you want more anthology films and Stephen King stuff. Comment below if you've seen this. I'd love to hear what you thought of it. Also, if you want to see me do sequels, make sure you let me know about that too. And yeah, if you have any more Stephen King or horror films in general or anthology films, comment those down below as well. So yeah, so that's that. And I think my next comic book's here. I'll see you later.